On July 4, 2026, 18-year-old Nolan Wells got on a boat with his friends to celebrate Independence Day on Horn Island, Mississippi. His friends came home. Nolan didn't. 2 days later, his body was found face down in the water off the island's shoreline. The sheriff said there were no obvious signs of foul play. The family said that's not good enough. And now, 5 tech companies have been hit with subpoenas. An independent autopsy has returned results that raise more questions than they answer, and this case is drawing national attention in ways that cannot be ignored. This is what we know right now. Today, Nolan Xavier Wells was 18 years old. He graduated from Ocean Springs High School in 2025 and enrolled at Southwest Mississippi Community College, where he played wide receiver on the football team. On National Signing Day in 2025, Nolan spoke to Bilox and called it a blessing to continue his football career at Southwest Mississippi Community College. It's truly a blessing being here with some of my best friends and teammates, and most of us are all going to college together. It's just truly a blessing, he said. That was the last National Signing Day of his life. He didn't know that. Nobody did. His head football coach at Ocean Springs said, "We are devastated by Nolan's passing." His mother, Christine Wansley, posted on Facebook, "My heart is broken for our sweet son, who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. He was a teenager, celebrating the 4th of July. That's all this was supposed to be." According to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, Nolan Wells was on a boat that left from a private dock in the Ocean Springs area on July 4, 2026. The group headed to Horn Island, a federally protected barrier island about 10 miles south of the Mississippi mainland, accessible only by boat. Horn Island is a popular hangout spot. On July 4th, witnesses described boats practically on top of each other, packed with people celebrating. At around 3 p.m., the friends left the island. Nolan was not on the boat. According to the friends, he chose to stay behind. They said he wanted to talk to a girl and other people on the island. His phone went with them. He stayed. When Nolan didn't come home that night, his mother Christine reported him missing at midnight. A multi-day search followed. On the morning of July 6th, a National Park Service agent found his body face down in the water just off the shoreline of Horn Island. Oxygen Jackson County Coroner Bruce Lind told CNN there were no immediate, obvious signs of foul play or trauma on Wells's body. Sheriff John Ledbetter told ABC News, "There is no information that we have right now that would lead us to believe that a crime has occurred." The family heard that, and they didn't accept it. Within days of Nolan's death, his family retained civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, citing contradictions in the case and a lack of information from investigators. Locks on Good Morning America on July 10th, Christine Wansley said she could not fathom why Nolan would have given his phone to his friends and chosen not to return with them. "That doesn't sound like something Nolan would do," she said, but the phone raised a deeper concern. When Nolan's phone was returned to the family, Christine found something that stopped her cold. There were no photos or videos on his 2 active Snapchat accounts. 0. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat, Christine said. And I was just like, that can't be. I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps. When he goes and he's having fun, he does videos. There was absolutely nothing. No saved videos. Yahoo. The family believes someone deleted that content before the phone was handed to law enforcement. One of Wells' friends pushed back, telling reporters no one had access to Nolan's phone password and there was no reason for anyone to delete anything. "None of us have access to Nolan's password to get on his phone and delete anything," the friend said. The phone is currently being examined by police. On Tuesday, July 29, 2026, Mississippi-based attorney Gary Bufkin, working alongside Ben Crump, filed subpoenas in Mississippi State Chancery Court against 5 major companies: Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok, Meta platforms including Facebook and Instagram, and the GPS location tracking app Life 360. Each subpoena demands all documents, electronically stored information, records, IP addresses, GPS data, and timestamps associated with Nolan's accounts. Each company has 21 days to respond. What the family wants to know is specific. Where was Nolan's phone when content was deleted, or when it disappeared? What was communicated in the hours before and after he went missing? Does the Life 360 location data tell a different story from what witnesses have described? Investigators themselves have separately asked the public for original unedited photos and videos from Horn Island on July 4th, specifically any material depicting alleged altercations or containing images of Nolan Wells. That request from law enforcement is significant. Altercations, that's not language used in a straightforward drowning investigation. On July 22, 2026, Ben Crump announced the results of an independent autopsy commissioned by the family. The findings: cause and manner of death, undetermined, pending investigation. Not drowning. Not accidental. Undetermined, Crump said the independent forensic pathologist noted red discoloration in the tissue at the back of Nolan's head. The reason for that discoloration is unknown. The body was in a state of decomposition when received for the independent autopsy, making it difficult to fully assess, but here's the detail that stopped people cold. The family's autopsy found that portions of Nolan's neck were missing, tissue that had been removed during the initial examination by the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office. That tissue is gone. What it might have revealed, unknown. The Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office has not yet released its official autopsy results. The Jackson County coroner said he is waiting on a full toxicology report before finalizing findings. 2 autopsies. One returning, undetermined. One still pending. And missing tissue from a key area of the body. The witness accounts in this case do not line up. Ben Crump noted that one friend told authorities Nolan planned to return to the boat after speaking with a young woman. Another witness reportedly said Nolan intended to stay behind. Those 2 accounts are directly contradictory. A woman named Katie McCormack has been identified as the person Nolan was seen speaking with on Horn Island before the boat departed. Her sister Grace has spoken publicly about the conversation they allegedly shared. A video reportedly obtained by Officer Tatum, a content creator who has been closely following the case, shows Nolan's friends on the boat during the period after leaving the island. Nolan is notably absent. The video has prompted intense online discussion about the timeline and what was or wasn't documented. Multiple witnesses have stated they saw Nolan on the island after the boat departed. Who he was with, what state he was in. Those accounts are still being gathered. Media reports citing preliminary documents from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources have suggested that Nolan had been drinking heavily before he went missing. This matters, and how it's handled matters enormously. Drinking on Horn Island on July 4th is not unusual. The island was packed, people were celebrating. And the presence of alcohol does not explain the missing Snapchat content. It does not explain the contradictory witness accounts. It does not explain the red discoloration found in the tissue at the back of his head. It does not explain why investigators are specifically asking for footage of alleged altercations. Legal and investigative experts have urged caution about these reports, emphasizing that rushing to victim blame before the full investigation is complete undermines the integrity of the process. Nolan Wells deserves a complete investigation. Not a premature conclusion dressed up as an explanation. Most of the public's attention has focused on the fact that Nolan Wells was the only black friend in a group of mostly white teenagers. He was left on an uninhabited island without his phone. He never came home. NAACP President Derek Johnson criticized the investigation and said it was important to do a full investigation before speculating about the cause of death. The FBI has been brought in to assist the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. The historical context of young black men dying under unclear circumstances in Mississippi, and families being told to trust institutions that have historically failed them, is not a background detail in this story. It is central to why this family retained Ben Crump on day 1. It is central to why they commissioned an independent autopsy. It is central to why they filed subpoenas against 5 tech companies rather than waiting for answers that may never come. The Jackson County Sheriff said, "It's going to take a lot of hard work." He asked the public to give investigators time to get accurate information. The family is not waiting. They are building a parallel case, piece by piece, subpoena by subpoena, because they cannot afford to trust that someone else is going to find out what happened to their son. Nolan Wells was 18 years old. He played football. He signed to play in college. He got on a boat with his friends on the 4th of July. He never came home. His Snapchat was empty when his mother checked. His independent autopsy came back undetermined. His neck tissue is missing. Witnesses contradict each other. Investigators are asking for footage of altercations, and now 5 of the biggest tech companies in the world have been served with legal demands to hand over everything they have. No verdict. No confirmed cause of death. No charges. The investigation is ongoing. What is confirmed is this: a family is fighting for their son with every legal tool available to them because they don't trust that the truth will surface on its own. And the rest of the country is watching to see whether the system they don't trust will prove them wrong. We will keep covering this as it develops. For Nolan,